Yo, what's good? It's been a minute. Shit, I don't even remember last time I was on there. It's definitely been a few weeks. Been busy grinding away on some other things, but decided I'm back on here today as some of my schedule started to kind of free up a little bit. So, as you can see from the title, I am back to my social application, which I've actually been working on pretty much nonstop the last few weeks or so. Just haven't been doing it live as I've had a lot of other things on my plate, but I'm back and today I'm gonna hop back in there and see where we left off. Make sure my Docker's running. All right, so let's check out. Internet's acting a little slow, so hopefully I don't lose connection. But all right, let's check this out. All right, so that's what I just implemented. So the last 2 weeks or so, what I've been doing is actually made my first kind of mobile versions of my collective application. I made one for Android and I have one for iOS. I signed up all on, Play Console and iOS developer accounts. They're actually live now. I have them working on my phone and other devices, and I have some people actually testing them. So I'm almost ready to get this up on the app stores and get them out to some of our users. But before that, Apple is very, very strict about what they allow on their site, especially when it comes to user generated content and platforms that allow that, like this one. So I'm really having to kind of nail some of these last little features down that kind of been putting off. I just finished literally wiring up blocking users and did a bunch of tests on that. It took me probably about 4 days to get all that kind of wired up and together, but I think I got it pretty well. There is still a little gap here where when I delete something, it's not clearing it fully from my feed. So see if I can figure out that bug. All right, so let's block him. Cool. So now when I go look, I shouldn't be able to see him anymore. I don't. Cool. And in the feed, yeah, it's not the best one. Let's come here. Go to unblock. And I'm gonna sign in as him. All right. So since the majority of my posts are from my personal account, let's just go ahead and block that one. Go quick refresh. All right, so now let's block this account. You can see it's been removed. Interesting. Okay. All right, so that actually works really well. So then I come here, make sure it's in my block settings. Cool. Now, bug I've been seeing, if I can replicate this, hard refresh. Now when I block from this profile, sometimes it's leaking still to the feed. Which I'm not seeing here. Huh. Okay, maybe I did fix it. Just test my production. It's acting a little weird too. Let's go to unblock now. Go hard refresh. Okay, so this is him. This account. Let's go to block. Let's go to the feed. See, then it's like leaking through. That is weird behavior. All right, let's look at my local again. All right, so let's do this. On this feed, shouldn't be seeing. Yeah, let's make it a little easier. All right, so I'm not seeing. All right, so this should be blocked. So let's come here. Let's double check. All right, so something's definitely leaking through. I think it has to do with caching, because if I refresh, they are removed from the feed. All right, so that definitely has to do with caching. All right. Definitely has to do with caching. So let's come here. Way too many. Back while we're here. Let's switch back over. Check my feed cache. Grab my block. All right, so it should be. Cached. Should be bump it up a version. Persistent cache. All right, so I'm gonna have it actually do a deeper trace. Still inning account blocking and eats and a bill showing post in there loading or is a caching issue. Put in deeply. After hard refresh, speed correct. Let's go extra high. Okay. I'll let that run. So still showing up, but at the hard refresh, it kind of disappears. So I'm almost there, but I'm almost 100% sure the cache is not getting invalidated for whatever reason. This is why I cannot wait to get off of Masonry, JavaScript Masonry feeds, because there's just so much that always goes wrong when you add more and more things to it. I cannot wait till I can fully just switch over to just raw native CSS Masonry, which from what I hear is approaching pretty quickly. So all right, so now it's in here again. Their posts are here. Me trace exactly which ones. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. Wonder. Refresh this again. Because it's never collections. Fine. I shot it. Blocked. Come back. Oh, now it wants to work. Okay, that's fucking annoying. All right, so it's an occasional leak that is happening. Don't really know why that is, but let's see if we can fix that. Locked again. Let's come here. A hard refresh. All right, so it's like a literally once out of every 10 time bug. Very annoying. No errors. It's weird. Definitely caching. Definitely a caching issue. All right, let's see if I actually see them listed. All right. All right, now let's come here and try that again. Plunked. Now let's go back. Yep. It's definitely caching because once it's actually loaded, it gets loaded up to my cache and then it's not clearing after block. I don't really know why that is. See what it said. Masonry. Yeah, it's definitely cache races. The block. Let's add more context. This bug only appears after post from blocked user are loaded in a previous out. So the cache. So those posts are cached. The feed and persist after blocking until any harm, refresh, or validation. Cache in the feed and previous after blocking. Trying to see, I thought I fucking had it wired up. Maybe I had a block. Maybe it's in my servers. Declaration. Don't see it. Cache validation. Oh shit. Alright. This is why. Alright, so the dialog is actually the one that's trying to set my feed and validation, but it should actually be handled by my server because when you're doing redirections and modals and using fetcher and kind of like these frameworks, a lot of times anything that gets fired after the fetcher does not go through. So none of this actually works. Only the API works. So we need to move that to our server. But the sharp guns is like lead redirecting block actions. Don't run the 6 eye side. Feed rebound needs after destructive visibility changes to that margin old cache tail until you have a trustworthy blocked owner set. Prefer replacing with fresh. I can't run it in my API blocks because that's server side and the cache is client side. I don't like number 2. Okay, let's patch that. That should fix that batch. Let's see. All right, nice. So I figured out the cause. That was a weird bug, but now I know. Now I know. When you are loading those posts and you're trying to validate, especially with Fetcher, you need to make those calls beforehand because Fetcher just overwrites pretty much everything you put after it. So see where I patched it. Submission block. So before Fetcher.submit, just invalidate. All right, I think that should work. I want to see what he was talking about with this. When feed validates after. I don't want to keep messing with the feed, so. And this. All right, so we're just calling it validate feed before. So let's come here. Effect. Let's restart. Let's try this one more time. Block. Refresh. All right, so now this user's discounts post are loaded. So now when I go to delete or block, they should not remain in the cache. So let's try that. All right, bug fixed. Bug squashed. I like to check this twice. Let me go look one more time. Let's come back here. Make it a little easier to find. Now when I go back, it should no longer be in my feed because I should have invalidated my feed cache. All right, and it did. So that bug is gone. It was kind of an annoying bug, one I could not really figure out. I had to dive a little bit deeper, but now I know. Fetcher has this weird behavior where if you call anything waiting on a success signal and you're doing any redirects or anything like that, they just will never get fired. So you have to do all that beforehand. And because I am invalidating feed cache, which is on my client side, I am not able to handle it in my API file like I am handling with my actual redirection, because my redirection was also getting completely run over by Fetcher. So lesson learned. All right, so I'm clearing my feed memory, loop through my listeners. You're gonna run my client to clear my persistent feed cache. Clearing source possible. No finish yet, so it returns to stale. Asynchronous invalidation mark user's timestamp. That person's cache reads must stay away even indexed. DB is not physically cleared yet. Stale entries become logically invalid immediately. Okay, fetch this. That was the last bug I actually needed to work out for my actual blocking feature. So everything's pretty much wired up. I did a bunch of testing over the last 2 days. So users can block users, users can block collectives, collectives can block users, and collectives can block collectives. You can also block from the postcard. Let me see where. Postcard, or from the overlay, or from a comment. So all that works. My server's being hella slow right now. So let's do this. Refresh that, why not? All right, so I added a timestamp, so it will automatically clear and invalidate even though it's running asynchronously. All right, cool. So let's run this. I already had it ready, but let's go patch. Let's go fix. Let's commit you. Cool. All right, let me make sure I didn't break any of my tests. Gucci. What's this? All right, now let's push those changes. Cool. All right, so like I said, I'm just getting all these features out the way because this is an absolute necessity when pushing my application for review on iOS App Store. I needed blocking. That is a requirement for all sites that produce user-generated content, and obviously mine does quite a bit. So put that in place. And the last thing I need to do to finally get approved is implement reporting feature and a way to moderate my content, because right now I have no actual controls in place for that. So that's going to be a pretty big feature, and honestly that'll probably take me a week to 2 weeks to fully get up and running and test it and everything, because I'm going to have to set up cron jobs and emails, because I'm also going to handle DMCAs and things like that. So that'll probably take me at least 2 weeks to get this full feature up and running. But let's just go ahead and start getting the kind of roots in place. Let's call you GC moderation. I'm gonna do this in 2 phases too. I'm not gonna run DMCA in this one because that's gonna be a whole other kind of thing I'm going to have to handle. On this one, I'm just going to set up my backend admin to handle moderation, so I can quickly scan and delete or restore or whatever, and get those messages from users. So this will be actually the easier part, and then DMCA will be much harder because I have to handle not only emailing outside people and internals, but then setting up timers and all the other stuff. There's like a whole lot of shit that comes with DMCAs, and I do not enjoy that part. But let's go ahead and set this one up. I had spent the last day basically planning out my feature set already of what exactly this might look like for moderation. So let's just go ahead and paste this prompt in and tell it to give me a plan. Matter of fact, let's not, I'm going to put in plan mode. Put you in plan mode. Oh, yeah, did it wrong file. All right, here it is. Put you into plan mode. Cool. All right, let that go. You post comments, users, collectives, update report. Let's see. Files. I use provide post comments, DM threads. Oh. Post options. Admin table for moderation. Filtering. Let's go by type. Urgency. What else? actions. Add strike. Ignore. Suspend slash. Y'all think. All right. So I need to add report into my user generated content. I need to add it to my posts, comments, users, and collectives. Then I need to update my UI with reporting a menu item, profiles, collective profiles, post comments, DM threads, and post options. Then I need to wire up an admin table for moderation, and I need filtering for type and reason, strikes, flags, and manual review. And then I need quick actions to add strike, ignore report, delete content, suspend slash ban user slash collective, and delete user slash collective. Cool. Wire up system patience. Let's try that. Let's call you notify user. Strike. And then rest it. That's a good start. So let's come here and see this plan that it's actually created for us. Let's see. Our show filtering and admin. Exclude DMCA copy. Add enums in my baseline. Have my enums, Martian target type, post comment user, port reason, port status. Disability status. Completed. ID, content ID. Moderation strikes. So object issued by content type. That. I need to update that, and needs to also include my org ID. Close less than means draft. All right, let's see. Reporting back end. Add a moderation server. Add reports route. Only. All right, that's not bad. Let's do this. Okay. This plan. Like this. And receive flags and updated. Create a temp empty file in. Where am I? Basically, I'm gonna take that plan that I just had distill in my other agent and tell it to create a actual markdown file for me that I can always refer to. It's very helpful when you are working between different devices, which sometimes I am, and hopping between computers and sending to other people. It's so that if they have an agent or whatever that's also working, they don't need to continue to scan your entire code base. They can just come here and scan the plan that's already laid out and kind of continue from there. It's just a way to kind of carry context between different sessions. All right, summary. Large reports, struct unique indexed. Additional moderation through the phases, including threshold handling, admin actions, and tests. Now I'm writing the react plan into a new All right, cool. Next, I do need to see how this works because I'm going to use, I already have better authentication to handle all my authentication sessions around my application. One nice thing about this is it does have some basic admin controls in place, like banning and revoking sessions. So this gives me a basic chance to keep somebody from signing in based on a specific time that I set. Only thing is, I think this is strictly wired to a users table, but I think I can extend it to my organizations as well. For user management. But I think I can extend this plugins. See, what I do like about Better Auth again, I can just copy this MD and I will come right back here and ask it directly. Can my Better Auth plugin be extended to organizations which in the all right. Paste that in there and let's see. Think you can, but I'm not entirely sure, and I don't want to scan the entire code, entire documentation right now. This is the plugin I'm using for BetterAuth for my admin backside or back end right now for basic user management, and I'm trying to see if I can extend this to its organization plugin, which we'll see. It's one important caveat: the user such as Goma, so it does not natively give you organization administration points in the box. Binding operations. Features such as grant those permissions to admin or moderator roles via your custom access control. Check permission first and that's you. Date, for example. All right, so I can actually extend it. Sorry, so that's exactly what I wanted. So let's just go ahead and start implement phase one, which I never like doing by hand anymore. Is I just always just let my agent handle my schema changes and updating my tables and adding all those indexes, because if I was to be able to do this by hand, it would take me much longer to kind of scan through my schema, which is getting quite large. And then it does a pretty good job of adding indexes where it's going to need based on this overall plan. So just go ahead and implement this. Phase one. Do not generate features migration. Now let's do this. Implement phase one of the new plan. Not a migration. I will do that manually. All right, and then reporting backend and the servers and APIs. And then it's going to be visibility and read mouse. Visibility status is visible except owner such as admin direct access where all right, just come back here. All right, let me check my phase one schema and generation. All right, let's do this. All right, so I created a bunch of enums here for moderation target type, post, comment, user organization, moderation report, reason, status, resolution, deleted, track assigned, visible, filtered, deleted. That's good. All right. Status, water status for post should be the same for comments and should be the same for users for this. Then here's my actual moderation reports table. grabbing a snapshot. Where is it? Accounts. Here's a snapshot. Storing in a JSON type file so I can just easily extend it in the future. Comment, region, content type. All right, that looks fine. Bunch of indexes here. Then moderation strikes. Issued subject, organization ID, subject user ID, source report ID. Here we go. Date those relations. All right, looks good. So let's come here. Generate this migration and then migrate it. All right, cool. CPU. Let's start doing this by commits. That's not what I did. Feature. Operation. Accept that initial, and then we should be good for our phase 2. So next I'm gonna tell it's gonna create a moderation server file which can handle all of these different tasks, which will be happening on my admin side, and then same with the API that's going to be calling the actual calls from the admin side. That's that. Not a crazy ask, but can get a good majority of this done in one shot. But then I'm going to have to do a lot of testing. Testing is going to take by far the longest in terms of this. And then, I mean, hopefully I can get my iOS app reviewed and put on the store within the next, I want to say 2 weeks. Android's a little bit different. I need to get 14 external testers to basically just download, or 12, I think it's 12 external testers to download my application and literally keep it for, I think, 14 days, which not too difficult, but I have to find 12 people within Android to download the app first. So once that's done, there's not really much internal review going on the Play Store side, but iOS, they do manual reviews, so I have to make sure everything looks sharp. that footer. Clean that up too. Wagner, what up, man? I had no idea Android had those rules. Yeah, neither did I. Neither did I. I know they didn't used to have those rules. I don't know exactly when they implemented them, but it is kind of the new route. It's very easy to get on Play Console, especially getting a test built up there. But when you start getting ready to push it, they're like, you have to have at least 12 people to download it to their phones and have it installed the whole time, at least for 14 days. And then you have to manually report if there's any bugs and everything that you did to fix it and things like that. And then typically it gets approved within 2 days. But they have to hold it on. They have to download it at least for 14 days and not delete it. And if anybody deletes the application for whatever reason, that timer resets and then you have to find 12 again. But yeah, it's just a weird thing with Android. I think they do it because they don't do actual manual reviews like iOS does. It's pretty much them passing on the buck, saying like, hey, we did our due diligence, without actually doing their due diligence. I mean, I'm sure if you really wanted, you could probably, if you had 12 devices sitting around, you could probably just create 12 different accounts. But all right, so it said implemented phase 2. Can you hire people? Or are they open public? So, I mean, it's external testers, so it's whatever you want. Like you can send it to whatever email you want. Internal testers, I think it's a little bit more strict of who you can send it to. But I know external testers, you can send it to anybody that you want to, and they will just download it with their code. And as long as they're signed into their Google Play account and download it, and that will just automatically count it. So sure, if you want to pay people, but we actually have users on the site and people that are currently waiting to get in. So we'll just send it out to them. But it's much easier to find 12 people with iOS, honestly, than a specific Android, but we'll somehow get there. Also, Reddit is another channel you can go to. All right, so it said implemented phase 2. I don't know. I get it. I just think it's kind of unnecessary burden for iOS. Like I said, it's manual review, and they're actually very strict on their manual reviews. That's why I'm like really making sure the shit's buttoned up. But as long as everything's like on the up and up with iOS, you can typically get it up within 2 days if you have all this already kind of wired up for them. You just have to create a fake account for them that they can sign into and actually use. And I think you have to also fill it with like dummy content. Moderation service will all require phase 2 functions, new reports API route, validation schema, route registration. All right, let's just check this out. So I know I need to re-register that route, so let's restart that server. Yeah, it sounds a little annoying. Yeah, I mean, they definitely don't make it easy. But I get it, because when it was a free for all, because Play Console used to be a free for all, even more so than it is now. When it was a free for all, there were so many scam apps out there, and apps that were hacking people shit, that they, to avoid legal troubles for themselves, they have put those in place. And iOS has always been pretty strict about what can get on there, so they haven't really changed much in that regard. They actually care, so they actually hire somebody to actually check out what's going on their app store. Now the real hassle comes when you're trying to like, because I looked into this heavily, is when you're trying to set up payments within the app, because that's a whole nother level of annoyance, I would say. But if your app isn't doing like user generated content like mine is, or having, user accounts where they're very strict about, typically pretty easy, because you don't need to have moderation, you don't need to have blocking, you don't need to have these things that have to wire up specifically to get on these app stores. All right, so here's the report action schema. content type needs to be that. So just making sure this is the only thing that gets accepted in a report. Then here's the actual API. Well, let's check the server first. Let's close this. All right, so it's inferring its type from monitoring reports with the type of reason. Setting those types. All right, extends error. Constructing my errors from there. Setting another DB like, and then its own type, and it's only picking the specific things from it. Okay. Snapshot. There you go. Alright, so these just all types. Let's just ignore all that. Is unique violation error. Normalized nullable text. Normalize my text. Content type, content ID. This is the key. All right, making sure it doesn't, you can't change basically the moderation target. Sure, target type for content deletion, only post content by moderation. All right, this is what I'm looking for. I can capture a snapshot of what needs to be moderated in case it's a post. Finding where my post ID is the content ID, and you're only grabbing these columns, which honestly I don't know why it's not in a safe DB. That oh. Safe moderation post. Wagner, am I building website too? Yeah, the website's been built, honestly. It's been up for a while. They actually have people on there and testing it and all that. If you can see right here. This is just my local build, but the production is actually already up. I can't find it. Production's already up and live, so I actually have it already set up, and it's actually extremely responsive, so it looks good on mobile screens too. But to have a platform like this where people are going to be signed on and using it and posting and things like that, you're not going to succeed without an application. So an app has what I've been putting together for like the last two and a half weeks, I would say. It took about 2 weeks to get built in the app form. Instead of doing a React Native full rebuild almost for this specifically for that, I kind of did a little trick, and I used Capacitor to wrap this website and did a bunch of things to make it look and act as if it was an actual app, and it looks pretty good, not gonna lie. But yeah, so I've had the website built for a while. Now I'm just taking this and getting into an actual app store. All right, so this is let's do that. Export safe moderation post columns type as column. If Contact. Can I share? There you are. Oh yeah, it's collective COLLECTIVV.co. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably too far in the corner. But at the top left corner, COLO, collective, except instead of a E, it's two V's. And then it's .co. Currently, it is in beta and it's kind of by invite only. But if you are a creator, you do art, music, film, whatever, we are accepting people in there. So, but it is still very much in closed off kind of invite. Doing this. Columns. No post. All right. So constant image, post tags, transaction, select ID, URL from post images. I don't know if I should put this into a. No, I'll leave that. All right, so just grabbing the actual image and just grabbing any tags associated with it, and it's returning a snapshot with post, grabbing the post, grabbing the tags, grabbing the images. Content caption. All right, so you're grabbing all that, so that's cool. Let's do this. Wagner, the background effect is so good. It's relaxing. Man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Actually, I forget what I saw some website kind of do that, and I was like, damn, that's actually kind of cool. And I copied it. I figured out how to do it with this like grain JavaScript plugin, basically. I can think of it. I'll find it in a second, but yeah. That is actually a JavaScript file. So I gotta figure out. I don't remember exactly what it was. It's something with grain something. All right, let's go. Grainy. So this is the actual effect that you're talking about, the grainy background effect right here. I just can't remember which package it was from. I'm sure if you looked up grainy background JS, it will pop up. It's one of those, but can't think of it right now. All right. Okay. Safe moderation comments. Finding the parent comment. The same. You start from smoothest. I never guessed it used JS. I know. That's why I was like, damn, I was kind of shocked when I found it. But it's a great package, whatever it was, and it's incredibly easy to use. And I've had no kind of like performance issues with it. It was something. I gotta remember what it was. It was actually a dope. I think it was somebody who did it just in their spare time. If I can remember what it is, I will let you know. But yeah, it's pretty dope because you can just change the color range, whatever you want. Like change how much grain you want it, how fast it is, all that. Like you have full control over it. You didn't have to like videotape. It's not a video running in the background, so they just JavaScript, and it's kind of fucking fire. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so I don't know my shit, but I'm going to. Post. Comment. Post. Come on. All right, so transparent. I don't necessarily need to do this, but it saves me a lot of time because oftentimes you end up having to come here and change these, and you don't have to do this across multiple files. I know from experience, and that shit gets very old. Let's import you. All right, looks good. See if I have that user. Nah, so let's go. Let's see. User. Scrap you here. Cool. Now let's grab this. Import. All right, so this is just capturing my moderation snapshots, basically finding the organization and then grabbing all those columns and then passing it along with the returned object or data payload, whatever, with a snapshot, organization, owner members, target type, all that goodness. So it's cleaned up. Apply a threshold. So basically, if a post or something reaches a certain threshold of flags, basically, so if it gets flagged like 5 times, I'm going to set up automated filtering, which will automatically basically hide it from view until it is sent and kicked to manual review. So I'm not in there, just basically monitoring every single piece that comes through. And I actually might increase that to 7. We'll see. Version target, content type. So I'm selecting an account from Moderation Reports where content type, content ID, and it's open, and threshold where all of these are true. Let's go 7. Kick it up. Content type equals post. Post set visibility status to filtered, which I'm going to handle in the UI later on, and then moderation status to manual review, so I can quickly filter and find anything that needs to be manually reviewed. Comment, same thing. User, same thing. I don't have filtering set up for users because I think that can be bad UX if you just automatically hide or restrict a person's account. I think once they hit a threshold, they should just automatically be reviewed, but I might revise that in the future. We'll see. I might. We'll see. I don't know. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out later. I mean, to kind of just cover my ass a little bit, I might actually just go ahead and set that to filtered as well, because it doesn't mean they're restricted from getting into their account. It just means that other people won't see what they're posting, which actually might be the correct way to handle that. Let's see. Yes, I think I'm gonna have to do that. So, but then I'll need to update my auth as well. So let's just go ahead and have it while I'm cleaning the file up. Let's do that. Update, manual review. Let's just check. All right, actual submitting a report. Normalizing text for the report. Find the reporter. If report on behalf of group. Rep group ID. Submit He's messing up a deeper file. I don't want to mess with that cell. Hey man, what up? Have I tried using NeoVim or Vim? Definitely large learning curve, but so rewarding. I have not. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty basic in terms of like what I use for coding and things like that. It's hard to kind of switch over to something new, especially when you're like in the middle of a few kind of big projects. I already have a lot to learn in terms of that, and I'll only kind of start dabbling in other things like that when I kind of get a gap. But I mean, I've had a lot of people on here tell me Vim is the way, like, but I just have not taken that leap. In your opinion, what is the biggest benefit of switching over? Snapshot capture. Here's a report. We're passing that back with these details. Apply that threshold. If params that content type equals user, go ahead and block that user. If is unique violation, basically you have already reported this target. So you should not be able to make multiple reports, which I didn't explicitly say, but it seemed to pick up on that. Assign moderation strike. It's easy enough. I do need to have some rate limiting here, I'm assuming. Well, you can only report once, you can't do multiple, so I might not have to do that. So all right, let's do this. Let's keep this, and then let's actually tell it users stations to also carry status if they hit threshold, be filtered until manually reviewed. Can we attach this in the schema moderation server and API files don't generate migration? Do that manually. You said it forced you to think component-wise for not only your code, but your IDE too. It made me feel more integrated into the environment I was in, which made me more vested in the code in a way. The large amount of very nice tooling for searching in the utility LSPs. I mean, look, everything I've heard about it has been pretty good. Like, sounds like something I would definitely dive into at some point. But damn, like I'm saying, like when you like get comfortable, it's hard to just go ahead and switch over to like some brand new tool, because not only do you have to like learn all the intricacies and little quirks of that specific ID, I have to do that while I'm still building. It's a little hard. It's a little hard to switch when you're building, but it's definitely something on my list to check out. I know a lot of people don't like VS Code, but it's what I started on, so it's what I know the best, and it's kind of what I've been sticking with. But I'm always open to try and see what else is out there. Safe moderation user. Okay, added to my schema. Just what I expected. Okay, didn't need to put in relations, and then updated my API to also have that in collectives. And wait, what is this? Data reports. User access. Okay, cool. But I mean, like I said, I'm open. I'm definitely open. I mean, I'll check it out at some point for sure as I get more comfortable with just actually coding. It's just so much on the plate when you're building something. Because I've not only built this, but I've also built a SaaS that is production right now and actually has users, and I actually need to get back to and create and optimize and build new features out for that. It's just hard to find the time. That's for sure. But I do want to test out new tools. You sound like you're a programmer yourself. So what do you into? What are you building? Okay, let's just go ahead and run this again. Errors, which I like to see. All right, so let's just keep those. Let's go ahead and commit these changes. I've got much better committing. Some of my commit files back, even like a month ago, were so incredibly large. And if you had one issue, you couldn't just quickly roll back. And that's something I've definitely learned how to do, is make far smaller commits on my own projects. Let's see, what plan was that? Phase 3, visibility and repaths. So implemented. Backend. Actions, moderation. So I'm just gonna call it like that. Alright, let's switch back over here. Should be good now. All right, examine. Feature. And start. Of phase of the plan. Comments already reported by the existing block toner filters, and then update comment countability scores to count only visible comments. Apply post visibility filters to feeds, search tags. Keep admin routes able to load filters to the targets to moderation queries, and then keep organization profiles being changed if you want to know. Load filtered / deleted targets through moderation queries. Keep organization profile be changed. That needs to be changed. Right. From you, I know. Shit. Gotta remove that. Recent description. All right, cool. Like I said, I mean, mostly I'm pretty much there in terms of like the first version, the MVP version of this. In terms of features, I'm for sure 100% there. Wired up a lot of different things throughout here. Works extremely well on the web applications, and I optimize it pretty much as much as I possibly can. In terms of the loaders, I still need to actually optimize some of the actions and some of the server actions on the back end, which that'll take me probably two weeks again, but I can just do that as I go. The pages load pretty fast even on web. And then in the last 2 weeks, I created a capacitor kind of wrap around my application, which allows me to kind of tap into native mobile features like uploading, like using the camera and uploading images from the picker and push notifications. And then I wired all that up through my Play Console and Firebase, and then on iOS. So like it's definitely almost there. The last thing I need to do before I can actually send this out to review for iOS is this moderation feature. And I knew it was one of those things that I knew I was gonna have to do sooner than I probably wanted to, but it'll be nice to actually get this off my plate and out of the way so I can actually get back to actually fun shit again in terms of features. Cannot get clapped for that. All right, looks good. Context switching still there. Cool. Almost there. Almost there. Let's see, add reporting to UGC, post comments, wire Batman table for moderation, filtering, quick actions. Think about those wire system notifications. Okay, I think a user should be notified when they have a piece of their content reported, also and deleted. Strike. I'll do that one. Planning. And I need to wire that up specifically. No, let's do this. For a track, let's do that. All right, I think that's better. Content, and then block users when recorded. J-Mart, man, what up? You said you build a SaaS exactly like Greenlight, tough marketing space. I can believe it. What'd you build? What SaaS did you build? I always say, building honestly is not the hard part of anything. If you're trying to do anything business wise and you're actually trying to make a product or a service that people are using, building's not difficult. Like obviously there's things that can become difficult and can take a lot of time and effort and whatever, but building an audience and building a following, that is infinitely harder than actually building an application, just simply for the fact that you have full control over your build and your app and whatever. So your market, you do not. Appreciate the sub. A deep loaded freelancer portal. Okay. Is it like a portal for handling clients or for getting work? Like you're just like a marketplace type of thing, or is it like what I'm doing basically? And yeah, I mean, I've had people ask me about it, like how it's going. It's like, yeah, I mean, marketing is tough. Getting an audience is tough. There's a lot that goes into it. Like there's so many things you got to juggle in terms of marketing. One thing at least I will say, like my background first was definitely business and marketing, so I have kind of a decent grasp on that. It's just finding the time to do everything that you need to do. But the building part is easy and actually fun. But you have full control. You know exactly what you're doing. You know how it's going to respond. It's going to do what you want it to do. But like you can have the perfect application and people still might not fuck with it. It's just kind of the way of it. Phase 3 moderation. Okay, so finish phase 3. Shared visibility helpers. Public post reads. Okay, so basically I wired up all my public feeds and routes to now filter based on visibility as well as blocks. Updated post detail comments too. All right, so basically created a bunch of helpers and then I went throughout my app and added guards in terms of public facing places. Let's see where added to my SafeDB. Added visibility status to, this is why I put them in one file right here, because I know I will probably have to extend or change things in the future, and now I don't have to do that across the board, just right here. Share ITS. Okay, you can only share if it is there. Oh shoot, I forgot about collections. You can't report collection, that's stupid. Published and visibility status equals visible. Public post filter. Perfect. Let's look at that first. I tripping? Did it not say create a helper? Where is it? Oh, you said handling clients and living work in the simplest way. Okay. I mean, what was your stack? Would you use to build it, and how long did it take you? And I guess what was your kind of hardest part of figuring that out? Because for me, it wasn't the actual build; it was creating like a clean, intuitive user experience, honestly, and dealing with like visibility and authority and like who can do what, who can see what, and permissions and stuff like that was definitely the hardest part for me. It took the longest and most kind of intense like thought for me, was for sure that part. Moderation threshold behavior. And I not up it. User targets now set. And visibility status filtered. Version status. I don't think you did. All right, that's better. Dated. Huh. Wrong. Had a chair visibly helper replace post reads. Okay, so that's what it did. Next, TRPC Prisma, next auth. Okay, I mean, pretty similar to what I did. I didn't use Next. I kind of left Next pretty early on. I use React Router 7 for my framework. I use Better Auth for my authentication, and I use Drizzle for my ORM. You said you can't, I was landing very big gig. Marketing just is my thing. It's the most important one nowadays. Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, 1000%. Like, I tell people all the time, like, yeah, you can build whatever you want. You have to love the marketing side too, because that's pretty much what you're going to be doing 100% of your time after you're actually build what you want, is going to go to actually marketing and reaching your audience, which if it's not something you like to do, it can definitely get frustrating. I understand that 100%. I don't love doing it, but I have been able to set up some automated kind of things to make it a little bit easier for myself. But hey, man, congrats on the big gig. I'm actually might have one myself coming up, and it's actually going to be in marketing. Some marketing and technical, but mostly marketing. Export function, visible post filter. This is what I wanted. All right, build visible, post filter, published, visible. visible. All right, returns equal exists, which is actually faster. From moderation reports, it's not a comment. A comment build, not reported comment by viewer filter. Public post filter. Visible. Okay, so it needs to do this as well. It's not the same. Okay. So basically just added a bunch of filtering to make sure a moderated content or poster or whatever does not get through into my feeds, but it did miss my new implementations. I have schema server to set quality status to users and organizations. Well, you need to update the filter helpers. Stability helpers for those. Alright, something's going on. That's great. A factor build. Let's sync those. All right. This one. That means we need to hide. All right. I'm definitely not gonna be able to get to that today, but that's gonna be a tricky one to figure out. How I want to handle visibility changes with a user who owns a collective. And maybe we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Build visible organization. Build visible user. Interesting. 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 I'll see. Um, I think Isla Ray, is that how you say it? Isla Ray Music, man. What's going on? Um, let's go. Where are we going with this? To the top, obviously, but just building out my existing kind of social platform called Collective, kind of extending it, setting it up, getting it ready for iOS and Play Store kind of application release. So I'm having to basically implement moderation and blocking features because iOS will not let you post to their app store without it. But other than that, yeah, just kind of building out my already existing in beta kind of application, and I will show you here in a second. But it is a social platform for creatives, for musicians, for artists, for filmmakers, for writers, and it's something that we're going to build out that is creator first. And creators are the only ones that are going to be able to post. Curators are the ones that be able to follow, comment, and interact, but won't be able to post. All the posts will generally be from kind of pre-approved, pre-screened, very lightly screened creators. Something to kind of give back power to creatives. It's basically an extension of what I already do with my brand, Live Life Fearless. But I'm from Orange County, CA. Okay, that's what's up. I'm out here on the west side too, somewhere, not far from California. All right, why is this still working? Build public, build visible user. Filters again. Basically, it's just going through all these different files and adding all of these filters from this right here, which is going to be used to make easier to hide users and content that has been moderated and shouldn't be seen. And then it's going to have to go into all these different routes where those actual feeds and things are happening, and then basically extend what I already had for like counts and for visibility and refactoring those through that filter. Isla Ray Sack. Oh no. Hell no. I'm over here in AZ. I want to see what's going on. How's the day, night going? What's good? All right. So it just went through again, visible comment moderation filter. This is just basically asking, is it in this filtered set of moderation? If not, show it. If it is, don't show it. That's all it's doing. A lot of code for very little impact, honestly, but must be done. So let's just go ahead and implement that. Then let's restart my server. Cool. Sync that as well. And let's see what broke, because I'm sure something broke. Yep, I knew it. All right, let's see. All right, so I got an error. Post too many requests. Not really helping me figure out what that error is. Okay, my saint is and you reset. Probably something small, but I do not want to go through every little change just made. Let's try this again and see if I can get actual error codes. I can't read Arabic, man, but what's going on? What am I working on? I am working on a social platform. Well, I'm extending, building out my social platform even more than what it is already and getting it ready for App Store launch. So I'm going to reproduce around to the app server. All right, because I don't see no. Let me see. All right, that's what it was. Front users, user ID. All right, so it's a drizzle error going on. I Lorraine Music, let's connect. Man, what's up? Like, I'm here. You know, send me a follow, send me a request. If you want to check out the site, go to collective.co. If it sounds like you do music, and you know, we can probably get you in there. You can kick the tires. Hi, Lorraine, you say don't stop being curious, man. Appreciate that. Definitely not. Definitely not. That's what life is about. Feeding that creativity and that curiosity 1000%. You from Dana Point, Cali? Okay. And you make deep house tracks and build full stack apps with AWS. Okay. I mean, hey, bro, you seem pretty dope yourself and pretty amazing. So like kind of on the same track. So like I said, yeah, I mean, if you make music, we're definitely a platform that I'm building right now for musicians and creatives and all that, and trying to build that out and find kind of like minded people. So if you want to go there to collective, collectiv.co right now, you send me that request, I'll let you in there. I definitely want to see what other people think as we continue to build this out. But Monsi, how long have I been programming for? I've gotten this question a lot. So I've been programming I've been interested in or doing some form of software engineering for a large part of my life. Ever since I was a kid, I was always building things on the computer, building computers, dabbling in software engineering. But like full time, like 100% my energy and effort to it, I would say probably about a little bit over 2 years. But I have built this application like 10, 12 years ago, actually using Ruby on Rails. And I built some other things, and I've done a bunch of website development and web design for years before this. So it's not like I just hopped right into this from basketball, but I've been doing this for a long time. This is the first time I've actually gone into it like 100% focus, you know, that will I'll say for like a little bit over 2 years. Rug play, what LLM am I using? I'm using Codex. I pretty much have stuck with Codex for the longest, and it's always been very, you know, efficient for what I need. I feel like if you know what you're doing and you can get a clear kind of outline of guardrails for it, it does a really good job of implementation. You don't need the heaviest models for most things, quite honestly. And it's extremely cheap. Like I knew things weren't going to be as cheap, but in terms of like cheapness and getting things done, Codex is still by far the cheapest in terms of how much you get for it and how much it actually costs. Like $20 a month is kind of crazy. I used to use co-pilot's plan, but then they switched to token planning, and you kind of burn through those very, very fast. So then I got back on my Codex plan, and that's pretty much what I've been using. Oh, you said LM, not agent. 5.5. Again, I can't read Arabic, but did you start with just pure vibe coding, or you had previous program knowledge to start with? I kind of answered that already, but I had programming knowledge to start with way before vibe coding and AI was even a thing. Like I said, Ruby on Rails was probably the first full language that I learned way back in maybe 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. I dabbled in JavaScript, knew a little bit of PHP, but Ruby on Rails is one that I could actually build something in. Then I kind of put it on the shelf for a while as I had a professional basketball career. But now I'm very, confident in JavaScript, TypeScript, and React, and that's kind of what I've fallen back onto. The next one I'm actually currently learning is Python. Ray Music, you are a photojournalist in Uganda. I mean, hey, bro, you sound like you sound like you've lived a pretty dope life. Uganda's fire. I've been there. Been to Rwanda, Uganda, Senegal. Yeah, I mean, sounds like you've kind of been all over. How'd you get into music? How'd you get into like coding? Like, why'd you leave photojournalism? It's just a hard industry at this point. All right, so created this fixed. All right, which was a drizzle. Basically misconfiguration. Instead of using these, you can just use it straight for its relations, and here you go. Cool. All right, back up and running. Nothing seems to be broken. Let's check. All right. So those visibility filters still seem to be working pretty well. Nothing fully broken. Mistake. All right, let's check this. Check my collectives route. Yep, there we go. I knew it was gonna hit one. Knew it. Just hit visibility filters always end up throwing something, so we'll figure that out in a second. I haven't blocked any users, so I don't know why it's grab this error. Alright, so that's not working, so let's come back here. Alright, the feeds are working, but the actual posts themselves are not. So let's come here. See what's causing these. Alright, so it's gonna come down to my view. Definitely in here. I'm gonna space this. It's there. A post. Definitely probably in my accounts, I want to say, or maybe build public if pushing it to my it's in my array, but let's see. Really going through like 3 filters, so I might see if I can bring this to 1, but I'm not sure. Because I got not block comment, not blocked post owner, and then I have visible, not reported, builders. So I will eventually probably, for optimization features, bring those down into one larger filter, but I'm trying to get this quick and dirty right now. You got 8 years of Python. Okay, that's impressive. Like I said, I'm just now kind of dabbling in it. I know it's kind of like the hot language right now in terms of AI and backends, but I'm definitely a design UI first person. I'm just now getting more and more into backends and running my own servers and VPSs and things like that. Send me a DM. All right, man. I'm gonna give it a look. I'm gonna check it out for sure. Patched it. The failing SQL came from build not reported. Comment my build not reported. I knew it was the comment. I fucking knew it. Comment filter. The aliasing moderation reports its comments inside the relational comments query, building bad columns like this. Okay. All right. Let's see if it actually patched it. Yeah, aliasing. It always does weird things with Drizzle. It doesn't fully understand Drizzle's kind of conventions, and it does fuck up a little bit. What's the IG I'll send? It's I am D Hunt. I am DHUNT. All right, shoot this again. Boom. Drizzle conventions always throws these agents for a loop. It's a fairly new language still or package still, and it doesn't always understand and tries to do things on its own sometimes, which I always end up catching. All right, I think that's good for this. Let's go ahead and add that patch. What phase was that? 3. All right, so visibility is supposed to be in place. Let's just make sure blocking is still good. It doesn't throw with the other filters being implemented. Let's say scope over it. Why not? Matter of fact, let's come here. All right. So blocked, and if I go to settings, it's still there. Check the visibility, make it a little easier to see without needing to hover. All right, so that filtering is still correct. Not in my search. Now I know he's in one of these collectives, and it's this one. Cool. So visibility still works for blocks. It didn't break that. And then let's come here. Let's come check this. This is cool. I don't see my other account, so that's still in place. So blocking still works. Switch back. right, cool. Getting close to context. Let's just throw this on another one. Okay, implement for so now it's going to actually create the UI, create a dialog and a menu item, make it a step modal basically to actually report something. And then the last phase of this is actually my moderation dashboard. So let's check that. Keith Wilkinson? Nah, not familiar with them, but okay. Am I trying to coach at all? Basketball? No, hell no. Coaching is not something I was interested in. The travel, the parents, the entitlement, just there's a lot that goes into coaching that I don't really envy them or, ever looked at it and thought that was something I wanted to do. I do some training. Like I do help kids and other people trying to like improve. I do offer some training and do stuff like that because I still get in the gym and things like that. But actual full-time coaching and the schedules and everything that comes with that, I have no interest in that whatsoever. I definitely wanted to make a hard shift and, use a different part of my skill set, and brains is one of them. So like, I actually enjoy building shit and feel like I've done just about as much as I wanted in sports, and I'm cool just kind of sitting to the side and like helping out. But coaching, I can never be a coach. That's not something that is not a fun career. People think it is. It is. Trust me, it is not. They be getting shit on. Especially nowadays. Holy shit. Coaching a kid in college who's making more money than me? Are you kidding me? No shot. No shot I would ever want to do that. And they bounce in every year? Like, nah. Can't do it. All right, so here's a dialogue. I'll probably put some of these in helpers, but we'll see. Different states. Effect that on open, it's going to load all the different contexts. Make sure it opens on step 1. Actual submission should be calling my API, which it is, along with the my wait for the response. Report submitted, catch error. Always need to fix UI. They just do weird shit. All right. The actual menu items. It's all UI, so it's really not that crucial. Make sure it's getting profile, direct messages, profile layout. Oh, so that must be my collective layout. And it is. Post options menu for the cards, common item. All right, cool. Dealing with kids and shit. Yeah, nah. It's not. It is not as glamorous as people think that shit is. Look, even if I was in college right now, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be hard to coach. Like if I'm making as much money as I could have been making, say I'm making an M, two M's. I know a kid making like 3 M's right now. It's kind of crazy. But if I could make like 2, 3 M's and I only got 1 year there, very hard to coach. There's a reason why I promise you, a lot of these kids these days coming out are going to struggle at the next level, just simply because they're getting so much so early, and it ain't gonna be like that at the next level. But I ain't mad at them because crazy amount of money to make. All right, so I'm not gonna check my UI right now. Let's just go ahead and start wiring up my moderation dashboard. Then I do need to wire up more notifications. When you say that you said you make a full stack app, so what kind of apps are you building, and how long you are you like freelance? You work for yourself? You work for a company? Where are you at these days? What are you at with that? All right. UI, Batman. Delete users, suspend users. All right. All right, so now I'm gonna need to restart the server. Let's go to let's see. API share. All right, it'll probably add a moderation right here. Now I can restart. Building it. All right, it's still building. All right, while I wait for that, let's just make sure my blocking actually got propagated to my staging app. Let's unlock. Let's come here. Hard refresh. Let's come here. Let's block. I should not be seeing that user's content anymore. All right, that works. I love read music. My daughter says, "Hey, tell her I said what's up. What's going on?" All right, let's see. Clean up paths for small UI times, avoiding redundant filters. All right, cool. It's running checks. It should have implemented out of the route. Here's the actual moderation file. Gonna handle everything. See that in person. All right, let's start this. All right. Here's the route now. So let's see. Matter of fact, let's come here. That's better. It says there's search, but I doubt search is wired up through the server. not calling an API, so I know it's not searching. All right, so I have to come in here and wire that up. But let's see where it's at right now. Got filters. Can filter by status. Close comment user. Okay, target. Low threshold. Before I get too in the weeds, let's just go ahead and test this out. Let's come here. All right, there we go. All right, let's try this again. All right, additional contacts report as. Sorry about that. You said you build out embedded hardware ASP32 and Arduinos. I actually don't even know what the fuck those are, but I mean, sounds impressive. And you also produce deep house music. Okay, like I said, I'm definitely gonna check it out. I'm huge into music. I've been covering music for like a long time for my actual brand. That is actually the reason why I'm building this, to bring those kind of people together. But I'll definitely check it out. Plagiarism, impersonation. All right, I'm fine with that. All right, let's clean up these reasons. There it is. Let's come here. having to double click there. So let's change that. Let's merge that one. All right, it's good enough. Yeah, got down. All right, so that's wired up. Let's just do one initial test. Let's find. Yeah. That's submitted. Now let's come here. It's the wrong one. All right, now I should not be able to report that same one. All right, so you gate that. I'll do here in a second, and then all right, here's my moderation. Definitely needs to be cleaned up, but not too bad posts. Let's clean that up. All right, so I'm definitely to clean this up on a visual standpoint, but it works. Came through. It counted the reports. Now I added it. One, state is open. With the context, the actual post, which again, I will definitely need to clean this up, and a link to the actual post. All right, not bad. Create a button that actually launches. Maybe no. All right, I think it's a good place to stop. I got it mostly wired up for the initial kind of groundwork and roots of what my moderation is going to be. It actually gets sent and fired and reported and shows up in the admin. I'm gonna have to clean this up next time in terms of visuals and everything, but stuff in there. The rest is kind of easy. There's just gonna be a lot of cleaning up and making things a little bit smoother and better, but then I will need to do a lot of testing in terms of removal, visibility, hiding, all that other stuff, but that will come later. I got the initial things done what I wanted today, which was setting the roots up for moderation and setting a strong foundation to build on. So definitely on the way there. I'm about to hop off of here and go eat, but I appreciate y'all for jumping in here, those who chatted and whatnot, and hopefully I'll see you on here again or connect in another way. It's been a while since we've been here, but I'll be back on here again pretty soon. So appreciate y'all. Peace.
Thank you.